I chose to conserve elephants or just to give elephants high visibility because elephants are keystone species. That means if you conserve elephants, you conserve other species they are in. We also call them the point for conservation. That means they need big space for conservation. They need big area for feeding, eating 300 kilograms of food.
What's the population of elephants in Kenya today compared to, say, 10 years ago?
At the moment in Kenya, we have 25 and 30,000 elephants, and most of these elephants are actually in savanna, and also half of it would be in forested areas. We have seen the forested population actually declining. Some forests which had 270,000 at the moment, you're talking of 50 individual elephants.
Jim, what has fueled the demand for ivory?
What happened in 2007, we saw some 4 countries in Africa. This is South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. They declined their population of elephants. They changed their population from the Apedex 1 to 2. That means you can now sell the stockpile. And I think this has really increased poaching in African countries, particularly the East African country, where we are second from South Africa in terms of the elephant population. So the demand has been driven by actually the opening of the sale of ivory in some countries that would call them consumer countries. For the last 40 years or so, we've lost about 3 million elephants.
And could you name those consumer countries?
The Ivory Trade Information System shows that Chinese or China, UK, and America, and some few countries like Netherlands are actually basically the consumers. And also we have others that are transit country. This is Malaysia, Philippines, and Thailand are also involved in the soul business.
But when you look at Kenya, there must be those who are also helping, those consumers. They are the ones doing the groundwork and killing elephants. Have you had anybody prosecuted for these crimes?
We have a stiff penalties, life imprisonment, but we've not had anyone in since 2014. Yet so many people have been arrested. The case actually gets lost in between the magistrate and the judges. So we have stiffer penalties, but it's how it's being handled in the court.
Outside of the borders of Kenya, Jim, how far have you taken the fight to protect the elephants?
I have worked in 7 countries in Africa.
Father, we want to thank you for bringing us together this morning. Thank you that God, you've given Jim a vision, and we believe in what he is doing.
This is Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, and Botswana, and Uganda. And then I worked in 10 states in the United States, from Massachusetts to Washington, D.C., and also 6 states in UK, from Kensington all the way to Bristol.
How have your efforts been recognized locally and internationally?
Her Excellency, the First Lady, Margaret Kenyatta, who is the First Lady of Kenya, she flagged me off from Kenya to East Africa. And her financial support that came was to hire a vehicle for 15 days, which was, to me, was a good start to support my campaign. But other countries recognize me, like Zimbabwe, where they give me a recognition. Also in the US, after my interview, again, with Good Morning America, I was able to convince the US Fish and Wildlife to destroy the tons of ivory, and they invited me in Colorado, Denver. When I did my work in the UK, I was given a chance as a guest honor speaker at the House of Lords during the debate to end the trade of ivory back home. Many people now are talking about elephants. If I didn't plan and I didn't execute this work, they would have not known elephants. So this is one thing I will take home, that now I have made sure that someone somewhere in those 5 countries, they are speaking about elephants. The GDP of Kenya, 14% is supported by tourism. That means it's going to affect the entire GDP of this country. We've seen what happened in some areas, like Mombasa region, some of those areas, Malindi, Kilifi, when poaching is pronounced there, we receive the decline of tourists. So the attraction of tourists in this country depend on the harmony and when there is peaceful coexistence, and when there are no cases of poaching.